Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Carter, Director of Educational Content and Programs for Shape America. If you want some good advice about health and physical education, you're going to love Toy Talk Tuesdays, especially our theme for this year. I'm talking about our Teachers of the Year. Shape America Teachers of the Year, they represent the best health education, physical education, adapted physical education, and dance education teachers across the United States. And now you can learn from them on Toy Talk Tuesdays. And for this school year, we're giving you Toys Top Tips. Our toys are sharing their best tips on different topics to help you. So make sure you click the subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. And if there's a topic or resource you'd like to see in the future, just leave a comment. And if you want to become a Teacher of the Year, check out the link below. Thanks for watching.
Hi, Shape America community. My name is Calandra Kritek, and I am the 2021 National Dance Teacher of the Year. I am from Illinois, and thank you for attending or listening to my Tuesday Toy Talk. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about improvisation. If you want to incorporate dance improvisation into any of your movement classes, that includes physical education or dance, I'm going to give you a couple tips here so that it feels a little bit less intimidating for you and hopefully really rewarding for your students. We do lots of improvisation in our lives in terms of dance. When you think of just going to a wedding and doing a little dancing, that is improvisation right there. As students get a little bit older, in the middle school, high school, they start to get definitely a little bit more self-conscious about their own movement, putting themselves out there. So my first tip is to have boundaries, guidelines for your improvisation. Where a kindergartner might be able to do a freeze dance, put on music, dance, turn it off, freeze, which is essentially an improvisation. A middle schooler, high schooler is probably not going to feel okay with that. The first part of this is having some sort of boundary. So one example, and the very first improvisation that I always start with, is a level improvisation. And so all your students have to think about, whether they are 5 or they are 15, is dancing or moving, you don't even have to say dance, moving at a certain level. And so that might mean starting at the low level. So you might say, at first, you're just going to do some movement here at this low level. And you can change up the music. You can give them even other specifications, like you must be jagged, or you must be smooth, or you must have stillness. Then at some point during this, you might say to come up to the mid-level. And so now they're finding those same things at this mid-level. And it does not have to be dance movements. It could just be pedestrian. We're just moving here at this mid-level. Once again, it could be jagged. It could be smooth. Have them write their name, but they have to do it at this mid-level. And then the high level is up here, finding a way to be all the way up in this high space. You could go back down to mid and down to low. So that's a good way to just structure a short warm-up for them or a short exercise. You could also use it as a warm-up, and that you could go across the floor. So maybe instead of doing skips or gallops, things like that, you might say, we're going to imagine that the tide is coming in, and you can start to move along this low level. You could also turn it into a moving stretch, but they have to stay low. Then my second tip is just some ways that you can have different improvisations incorporated into your class. So we just talked about the levels. The next one would be what I call a body part lead. And depending on the age of your kids, your students, I always say, like say I'm saying my fingertips are leading through the space, I'll tell them they're little eyeballs on here. And so the body part that I choose, which right now, my left fingertips lead me through the space. So now I'm working with negative space and just a way to move around, and I can use those levels that we talked about before. And then I can do, my back leads me through the space. I can do one shoulder, one knee, and that eyeball is taking you through the space. Now obviously I'm doing a little bit more movement than you might do in a PE class, but it's all applicable. You know, maybe you want to do, your knee is leading you through the space, and you turn it into some jumps. So now you're getting different activity. Another one is what I call axial and locomotor. So axial, it means stationary. And so another improvisation you could do is just being stationary. You can't travel from side to side. You could go down, you could sit, you could go on your stomach, but there's no traveling. Then you would call out locomotor or traveling, and then you would travel through the space in any way. It could be very pedestrian. You could tell them that they have to walk in straight lines or in curvy lines. They have to be very aware of all the empty space in the room, and they have to fill that space while they're walking around. So improvisation instills creativity. It helps people warm up their body from the inside out, and it's really fun. If I do have very intimidated students, I'll turn the lights down and I'll put some holiday lights around. So there's a lot of different ways you can make improvisation accessible to all. And I hope you enjoyed these tips. Thank you so much.